Hello and welcome to the Bottom Line Show. I'm Prabhu Chawla. There is a question that every serious student of Indian politics must answer this morning or today. And it's not the question you will hear on every television channel. The question is not who won West Bengal. The question is what won West Bengal, because when a political party goes from 3% of the vote to 45% in 12 years, when it turns a state that was once the intellectual cradle of secular nationalism into a newest fortress, you are not witnessing a political campaign. You are witnessing triumph of an idea. Today on the bottom line, we ask, what is that idea? What did it prevail? And why did it prevail? And what does its victory, what does it tell the direction of the state of West Bengal? BJP victory celebration in Kolkata, Modi rally visuals, all this as you can see on the screen. The numbers that tell the story. Let us begin with the arithmetic, because the arithmetic is staggering in 2026 West Bengal Assembly election. The Bharatiya Janata Party won 206 seats out of 294. The majority mark was just 148. They did not cross it. They demolished it, winning 70% of the entire assembly. The Trinamool Congress, which governed this state since 2011, has been reduced to just 81 seats, down from 215 just 5 years ago it had won. That is a swing of 134 seats in a single election. But the seat count alone does not capture the magnitude of the shift. Look at the vote share. In 2021, the BJP polled 38.1% of the total, TMC's 48%. Today, those numbers have precisely reversed. The BJP stands at 40.854%, DMC has fallen to 40.80%. That is a swing of nearly 8% points in 5 years in a state of 68 million registered voters. The BJP polled 63 lakhs more votes in absolute numbers than it did in 2021. On a voter turnout of 92.93%, the highest in that Bengal's recorded electoral history. Now, consider the arc of this progression in its full historical sweep. In 2014, the BJP won its first Lok Sabha seat from West Bengal on its own organizational interests. Before that, it has languished at 3 to 5% of the votes, a fringe force in a state dominated first by the left, then by Mamata Banerjee. In 2019, there was a massive swing of traditional left votes to the BJP, but the assembly still seemed out of reach for them. In 2021, they reached 77 seats. On May 4th, they got the massive majority. BJP Bengal vote share went up massively. From the margin to the majority in 12 years, that is not electoral momentum. That is an ideological conquest. What actually won Bengal for BJP? Here is an analytical core that most television commentary will miss. This victory was not delivered merely by anti-incumbency. Anti-incumbency explains why people voted against the government. It does not explain why they vote for a particular alternative with such force and conviction. The BJP did not just benefit from the TMC failures. Not those failures were real. The school recruitment scam, the cut money culture, the law and order collapse, and after the RG Kar Medical College rape case in 2024, and 15 years of what political observers called syndicate Raj. These were the conditions of the soil. But the BJP did something far more significant. It planted an idea in that soil itself. Look at the data on Hindu vote consolidation, because this is the statistical proof of an ideological shift. In 2021, the TMC dominated constituency with Muslim population of over 30%, winning 84 out of the 88 such seats. This time the BJP won 19 of those same seats. Think about what that means. The BJP did not win Bengal merely by consolidating its rural natural base. It won seats where the Muslim vote was substantial, because the Hindu votes consolidated around the BJP overwhelmingly, that it overrode even significant minority population. The BJP swept virtually every constituency where Hindu comprised over 70% of the population. What drove this consolidation? The answer lies in deliberate, disciplined, ideological campaign built around Hindu cultural nationalism. And here, the history is deeply significant. Bengal is not a random location for this victory. Bengal in the late 19th century was the intellectual birthplace of Hindutva. It was a Bengali writer, Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, who composed the Vande Mataram hymn and laid the philosophical foundation of Hindu nationalism in his journal Bangladesh. It was a Bengali-born Shyama Prasad Mukherjee who founded the Bharatiya Janata Sangh, the BJP's ideological ancestor, in 1951. When Amit Shah stood in Kolkata in 2018 and declared, "Our nationalism is cultural nationalism," and Bankim Chandra is the foundation head. He was not making a rhetorical flourish. He was making a territorial claim that Bengal belonged ideologically to this movement. On May 4th, the voters of Bengal validated the claim. Was it Modi versus Mamata? National idea versus local slogan? Now we come to the central political contrast of this election. The one that explained everything. On one side, the Narendra Modi, a national leader, a leader who does not campaign merely on what he will do for a state, but on what idea he represents for the nation. His presence in Bengal was not logistical support for local candidates. It was the projection of a civilization argument that India is a Hindu nation finding its political expression. That the centuries of what he framed as cultural subordination was over. And the idea party which combines this idea is the only one with both the will and the strength to govern and lead. On the other side, Mamata Banerjee, a fighter, a street warrior, a leader of extraordinary personal courage, who built her movement from nothing and governed a complex state for 15 years, but a leader who had no new idea after the 2026, for the 26 to offer. Her campaign rested on the slogan of 2011, "Ma, Mati or Manush," which Modi surgically dismantled at his rallies by saying, "The Ma is crying, the Mati is being sold, and the Manush is fleeing." Her second weapon was Khela Hobe. Well, the game happened, and the score is on the board. The structural problem with Mamata campaign was this. She fought a national ideological argument with a local cultural identity. Response was local. She told Bengali voters, "Protect your Bengali pride, resist the outsider," but the BJP had over 12 years successfully reframed the question. It was no longer Bengali identity versus the BJP. It had become Hindu identity first, Bengali identity second. And when that reframing takes hold in the voter's mind, the local cultural argument loses every time. The data confirms this precisely. The TMC electoral base is now contracted almost entirely into seats with a Muslim population above 30%. 61% of its 81 winners come from such constituencies. In other words, the TMC was the party of all Bengalis have become electorally the party of a specific demographic. The BJP, meanwhile, has become the party of the Hindu majority of Bengal. That's the fundamental structure realignment, not a one election mood swing. Now the counter argument will be made, and it has merit, that this victory was assisted by controversial SIER, which deleted 27 lakh voters from the register. That the playing field was not level. That institutional machinery favored the BJP. BJP will not dismiss the argument. The deletions were real. The real channels were real. The Supreme Court involvement was real. Serious political scientists, including many others in social sciences in Calcutta, have described this result as a cocktail of large-scale voter deletions, strong and anti-incumbency, and unprecedented Hindu vote consolidation. Analytical rebuttal of the same thing also. The BJP made deep inroads in constituencies where the SIR revision had minimal impact. Their voter share rose by 8% points uniformly, not disproportionately in SIR affected areas. 63 lakhs additional votes cannot be manufactured by electoral roll deletion. they must be earned. The SIR may have helped at the margin. The idea did the heavy lifting. So what is the bottom line today? Bengal 2026 is the most significant state election in post-24 history of Indian democracy, and not primarily because what it means for the Trinamool Congress or even for the BJP's 2029 preparation, though both are significant. It is significant because of what it reveals about the ideological terrain of modern India. Hindu cultural nationalism has now found political majority in the state, where the intellectual foundations were laid 150 years ago. The idea has come home, and the Mamata Banerjee, for all her personal formidability, lost because she brought a slogan to an ideological war. Ma Mati or Manush was a magnificent mobilizing cry in 2011 when the enemy was left organizational decay and the demand was simply for change. It had no answer for a movement that was not asking voters what they wanted from the government, but asking them why they were as a people identity when it is framed at the civilizational level defeats identity framed at the regional level. Every time for the India bloc, the lesson is even more sobering. The opposition has now lost its largest non-Congress state government. It has lost its most charismatic non-Gandhi face. And it has lost the argument that BJP's Hindu nationalism has a ceiling in culturally distinct state. Bengal was supposed to be that calling. There is no calling anymore. There is no ceiling anymore. The question for every leader in the opposition tonight is not strategic. It is existential. You cannot counter an idea with a coalition. You can only counter an idea with a better idea. Until the Indian opposition finds one, it will keep losing state by state, slogan by slogan, fortress by fortress. Indian politics, the most dangerous thing is not a party that wins the election. It is a party that wins the imagination of the people. That is the bottom line for today. Thank you for watching it. We'll meet again, discuss some other idea. Till then, thank you. My request, keep watching Bottom Line, subscribe, share, and write your comments, good, bad, and so on. I'll read them but will not get angry. Jai Hind.